Did you know that a staggering 99% of deaths among individuals over 75 are attributed to just a few key factors? There's a widespread misconception that reaching the end of life at an advanced age is a natural and unavoidable process. However, the vast majority of deaths in this age group are actually due to preventable risks. These risks often go unnoticed until the situation becomes critical. The main challenge is that by the time people realize the seriousness of their health, their condition has often significantly deteriorated and their options are severely limited. Yet, by understanding these potential threats early, you can take effective self-protective measures and significantly extend your active lifespan, exceeding all previous expectations. This discussion will delve into the 5 primary causes of mortality for those over 75. These factors are responsible for nearly all fatal outcomes in this age bracket. Some might seem obvious, while others could be surprising. But one truth remains undeniable. A deep understanding of these factors is the first and most crucial step towards successfully preventing them. This isn't just about dry statistics. It concerns real human lives, family well-being, and conscious choices that can draw a clear line between a debilitating struggle with illness and a long, fulfilling life. It's vital to emphasize that these 5 causes are by no means a fatal inevitability. On the contrary, making even small, consistent, and meaningful lifestyle changes has allowed many to significantly reduce their risks, maintain independence longer, and add years, sometimes even decades, to their lives. The decisions you make today can determine how strong, active, and independent you remain in the years to come. 1. Cardiovascular diseases. Heart and vascular conditions consistently hold the top spot as the leading cause of death among individuals aged 75 and older. Many often underestimate their potential influence on the progression and outcome of these processes. The heart is, at its core, a powerful muscular organ. Like any other muscle, it either maintains its strength and functionality with proper care or gradually weakens due to years of neglect and lack of attention. The insidious nature of the situation is that warning signs aren't always felt until irreversible damage has already occurred. Many people tend to attribute reduced vitality, chronic fatigue, or shortness of breath solely to the natural manifestations of aging. However, these symptoms can actually be clear indicators that the heart muscle isn't functioning as efficiently as before and requires immediate and close attention. One key factor significantly contributing to cardiovascular diseases is high blood pressure. Over time, it puts immense strain on artery walls, forcing the heart to work much harder than its physiology intends. The greatest difficulty lies in this condition's asymptomatic nature. There's no pain, no obvious signs to prompt action until a critical event like a heart attack or stroke occurs. This is precisely why so many people over 75 suddenly find themselves in a hospital bed, bewildered by what happened, as they felt perfectly fine just days before. Another serious determinant is an unbalanced and unhealthy diet. Decades of consuming highly processed foods, excessive salt, and unhealthy fats gradually inflict cumulative damage, leading to clogged arteries and impaired blood circulation. Most people don't realize that the problem isn't just about eliminating harmful foods, but also actively consuming beneficial ones. The heart muscle needs adequate fuel to maintain its strength, and if the diet is deficient in heart-healthy nutrients, degenerative processes develop much faster than one might expect. Furthermore, a critical aspect is the lack of physical activity. The human heart is not designed to be at rest all day. When movement ceases, circulation slows, muscle tissues weaken, and the heart muscle doesn't receive the necessary workload to maintain its strength and tone. There's no need to aim for marathons, but maintaining activity in any accessible and comfortable way, be it regular walks, stretching exercises, or even simple movements performed while sitting, contributes to efficient heart function and significantly reduces the risk of cardiovascular diseases. The most common mistake people make is a fatalistic perception of heart disease. They tend to view it as an inevitable fate, citing family history of heart attacks or believing it's just an inherent part of aging. However, The truth is that small, consistent, and conscious choices made throughout life collectively shape the outcome. The food you eat, your level of physical activity, and your ability to effectively manage stress. All these aspects play a key role in determining whether your heart will maintain its power and functionality or gradually begin to falter. You have significantly more control over your heart health than you might imagine. The choices made today can determine how strong and resilient this vital organ remains for years to come. And the best time to start actively protecting it is right now. 2. Falls and injuries. One of the most insidious and often underestimated risks for people over 75 is not a disease, but a simple fall. It happens in an instant. One misstep, a sudden dizzy spell, a slippery floor surface, and in a flash, life can change forever. A hip fracture, a traumatic brain injury, or even a seemingly minor bruise can rapidly escalate into a serious, life-threatening event. The real danger is that the vast majority of people don't realize the full extent of their vulnerability until it's too late. Here's what's truly shocking. Falls are among the leading causes of injury-related deaths in the older age group. Annually, they lead to millions of emergency room visits, and for many older adults, a single fall becomes a catalyst for decline from which they never fully recover. A hip fracture can mean months spent in bed, irreversible loss of independence, and a significantly increased risk of infections and various complications. However, despite the widespread nature of this problem, most people don't take fall prevention seriously until they or someone close to them experiences this tragic event firsthand. The problem is compounded by the fact that with age, there's a gradual decline in balance, muscle strength, and reaction time. But because this process is very slow, people don't always notice it. You might feel fine, moving freely around a house, doing daily chores, but then one day, reaching for something, you lose your balance and gravity takes over. The body doesn't recover as easily as it did in youth, and what used to be just a minor stumble can now lead to devastating injuries. What's worse, the very fear of falling paradoxically leads to more falls. Many older adults, after experiencing one dangerous fall, begin to completely avoid movement. They stop going for walks, avoid stairs, and limit their activity due to overwhelming fear. But the less you move, the weaker your muscles become, and the weaker your muscles become, the higher the likelihood of falling. This creates a vicious cycle that can rapidly strip a person of their independence. But there's also encouraging news. Falls are by no means inevitable. In fact, there are simple yet extremely effective ways to significantly reduce the risk. Strengthening leg and core muscles, improving balance, and making small but significant changes to the home environment, such as improved lighting, using non-slip mats, and installing sturdy handrails, can be the decisive factor between maintaining activity and independence or facing a life-altering injury. Another often overlooked factor is the side effects of medications. Many prescription drugs can cause dizziness, drowsiness, or changes in blood pressure, significantly increasing the likelihood of falls. If you've ever stood up too quickly and felt lightheaded, your body is sending a warning signal that an adjustment is needed. Talking to your doctor about your medications, ensuring they don't have negative effects, and paying close attention to how they impact your balance can literally save your life. Falling isn't just tripping. It's about the ability to stay strong, stable, and aware of those seemingly minor things that can make a huge difference. Because after 75, one fall can change everything, and taking the right precautions today can mean years of continued mobility, independence, and a significantly higher quality of life. 3. Respiratory diseases. Breathing is a function we take for granted until it becomes difficult. As we age, our lungs don't function as efficiently as they did in youth, and even minor breathing issues can rapidly escalate into serious problems. What starts as a common cough or shortness of breath can lead to chronic conditions, severe infections, and even hospitalization. After 75, respiratory diseases become a leading cause of death, not because they are unavoidable, but because their symptoms are often ignored until it's too late. One of the biggest dangers is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes conditions like emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Over time, the airways become inflamed, making breathing increasingly difficult. Many older adults tend to dismiss symptoms like frequent coughing, wheezing, or shortness of breath, mistakenly believing it's just a normal part of aging. But in reality, these are clear warning signs that the lungs need help. Then there's pneumonia. It might seem like just another infection, but for older adults, pneumonia poses a much more serious and dangerous threat. What initially presents as a common cold or a slight chest congestion can rapidly transform into a life-threatening condition, as the body's ability to effectively fight infections significantly weakens with age. Many hospitalizations among individuals over 75 are due to pneumonia, and in many cases, this infection leads to a rapid and irreversible deterioration of health, from which some patients never fully recover. Another serious risk factor is poor air quality. Over the years, exposure to dust, various pollutants, and secondhand smoke inflicts cumulative damage on the pulmonary system. Even within your own home, factors like mold, pet dander, and various indoor air pollutants can exacerbate breathing problems, even if you don't realize it. If you already have conditions like asthma or COPD, these irritants further worsen symptoms. Small changes, such as improving indoor air quality, using air purifiers, or avoiding tobacco smoke, can significantly protect your lungs. One of the simplest yet extremely effective ways to maintain lung strength is to stay physically active. Many people don't realize that lungs, like any other part of the body, need regular exercise to function properly. When you move, your lungs fully expand, which helps keep them healthy and clear of mucus buildup. However, with prolonged sedentary lifestyles, the lungs don't work at full capacity, making you more vulnerable to infections and leading to weakened lung function over time. Even light activities like walking or stretching can keep your lungs strong longer. Another important factor is timely vaccination. Many older adults underestimate the critical importance of vaccines against pneumonia, influenza, and other respiratory diseases. However, these simple precautions can significantly reduce the risk of developing severe infections. It's not just about avoiding a bad cold, but about preventing serious complications that can lead to hospitalization or worse, death. A small step like timely vaccination can mean the difference between a minor illness and a major health crisis. Breathing should never be a struggle, but for many over 75, it unfortunately becomes a reality. This happens not because it's destined, but because they don't take the necessary measures early enough. Your lungs accompany you every second of your life, tirelessly working to keep you alive. Taking care of them, strengthening them, and protecting them from infections is one of the most powerful actions you can take to extend both your health and independence. 4. Stroke. A stroke strikes suddenly, without warning, and in an instant, a person's life can change forever. It's one of the leading causes of death among individuals over 75, yet many people don't realize how many early warning signs and risk factors are within their direct control. The problem is that a stroke doesn't always offer a second chance. Once it occurs, the damage is often irreversible. But what most people don't know is that up to 80% of strokes are preventable. This means the choices you make today can determine whether you maintain your independence or suffer a life-altering event. A stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is suddenly blocked or a blood vessel ruptures. In such a situation, brain cells begin to die within minutes. The longer the brain is deprived of oxygen, the greater the damage. Some strokes can be minor, causing only temporary confusion or slight weakness. However, others leave people paralyzed, unable to speak, or completely dependent on assistance. And in too many cases, a stroke proves fatal. One of the most significant risk factors is high blood pressure. Over time, excessive pressure on the arteries weakens their walls, making them more prone to rupture or blockage. And, as with heart disease, high blood pressure is often asymptomatic. This is why so many people live completely unaware of the risk until a stroke suddenly occurs. Another important cause is an irregular heart rhythm, such as atrial fibrillation. Many older adults experience this condition without realizing its presence. When the heart beats irregularly, blood can pool and form clots. If one of these clots travels to the brain, it can instantly cause a stroke. The good news is that a simple medical checkup can detect these problems early, and timely treatment can significantly reduce the risk. And of course, diet and lifestyle play a crucial role. Consuming too many processed foods, excessive salt, and unhealthy fats increases the likelihood of strokes, while a lack of movement leads to blood thickening and slowed circulation. The best way to reduce your risk is to stay active, eat nutrient-rich foods, and maintain healthy blood pressure. Small changes, such as adding leafy greens to your diet, reducing sodium intake, and drinking more water, can make a huge difference. One aspect that often goes overlooked is mini strokes or transient ischemic attacks, TIAs. These are brief episodes characterized by weakness, numbness, vision disturbances, or confusion. Even if symptoms pass quickly, they should never be ignored. Seeking immediate qualified medical attention can be the decisive factor between preventing a full-blown stroke and facing its devastating consequences. The most important thing to remember is that you have real power to reduce your stroke risk. Regular blood pressure checks, maintaining a heart-healthy diet, an active lifestyle, and the ability to recognize early warning signs. All of these can help preserve your independence and avoid the life-changing consequences of a stroke. The sooner you take action, the higher your chances of protecting yourself. 5. Cognitive decline and related complications. One of the most heartbreaking realities of aging is the gradual loss of memory, reasoning ability, and independence. Cognitive decline doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, manifesting in small changes that are initially easy to dismiss as age. However, over the years, these minor lapses transform into something far more serious. The ability to manage daily tasks, recognize familiar faces, or make informed decisions begins to fade, and for many, this is not just an inconvenience, but a direct threat to life. Dementia and Alzheimer's disease don't just affect the mind, they jeopardize the functioning of the entire body. As cognitive function declines, so does a person's ability to adequately care for their own health. Simple things like remembering to take medication, maintaining a balanced diet, or recognizing symptoms of illness become increasingly difficult. Many older adults with dementia forget to drink enough water, leading to dangerous dehydration. Others may eat too little or too much, causing nutrient deficiencies or weight gain, which in turn increases the risk of other serious diseases. But one of the biggest dangers is accidents. Forgetting to turn off the stove, leaving a door unlocked at night, or going outside in unsafe conditions. These are all risks that become deadly as cognitive decline progresses. For many older adults, this leads to the tragic reality of losing independence. They may no longer be able to live safely alone, and without proper care, their health deteriorates even faster. The most frightening thing is that many people don't realize they are experiencing cognitive decline until it has already progressed. Early signs, such as forgetting names, difficulty maintaining conversations, or losing important items, are often dismissed as normal aging. But in reality, these small warning signs are the brain's way of communicating that changes are occurring. The sooner action is taken, the higher the chances of slowing progression and preserving a sharp, healthy mind for years to come. One of the best ways to protect your brain is to stay mentally active. Like the body's muscles, the brain needs exercise to stay strong. Reading, learning new skills, solving puzzles, or even engaging in deep conversations keep the brain active and reduce the risk of cognitive decline. And here's what many people overlook. Physical exercise is just as important for brain health as mental activity. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, which helps protect memory and cognitive function. Another key factor is social interaction. Isolation and loneliness significantly accelerate mental decline. Regular conversations, meeting friends, and participating in community life can literally help the brain stay sharper longer. The more you challenge your mind with new experiences and meaningful interactions, the more resilient it becomes. And of course, diet plays an important role. What you eat directly impacts brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and vitamins found in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts help protect against cognitive decline. On the other hand, too many processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats contribute to inflammation in the brain, increasing the risk of dementia. A healthy brain starts with a healthy body, and the choices you make today can determine how well you think and function in the years ahead. Loss of cognitive function is not an inevitable part of aging. By taking the right steps now, keeping your mind and body active, staying socially engaged, and making wise dietary choices, you can significantly reduce your risk. The brain, like any other part of the body, the more you care for it, the stronger it remains. Concluding thoughts. Take a moment to reflect on everything discussed: cardiovascular diseases, falls and injuries, respiratory problems, stroke, and cognitive decline. These 5 causes are responsible for almost all deaths among individuals over 75. But it's crucial to remember, they are not inevitable. The vast majority of people often don't realize the extent to which they can influence their own health and well-being, and by the time this understanding comes, precious time has often been lost. However, the undeniable truth is that even the smallest, consistently made choices, starting from this very moment, can grant you additional years filled with vitality, mental clarity, and precious independence. Naturally, no one wants to dwell on the inevitability of aging, but simply ignoring the risks listed above will by no means make them disappear or diminish. The good news is that a deep awareness of these threats empowers you. Understanding the warning signs, taking effective preventive measures in a timely manner, and prioritizing your health unconditionally mean that you won't have to live in constant fear of what's to come. Instead of focusing on potential limitations, you gain the opportunity to concentrate on the prospects of longevity, preserving vital energy, and fully enjoying every moment of existence. Now is a good time to pay attention to your own daily habits. Are there areas where you can make even small but constructive improvements? Perhaps it's about transitioning to a more balanced and healthy diet, increasing your level of physical activity, undergoing regular medical checkups, or maintaining an active social and intellectual life. Regardless of the specific choice, it's important to remember, there's no need to drastically change every aspect of your life all at once. Even one seemingly minor step taken in the right direction can set you on a path to significantly improved health and a longer, more fulfilling life. At this stage of life, your own well-being becomes your greatest and most valuable asset. The more diligently you protect this asset, the more opportunities you'll have to fully enjoy time spent with loved ones, preserve precious independence, and live without constant fear of preventable health problems. Each new day presents a unique opportunity to take care of yourself, and the choices made today can determine how strong and capable you remain in the years to come.